So do you really believe in freedom of speech? Do you really believe in the First Amendment? I do. And it means that you have to stand up for even the voices that you strongly disagree with. In fact, it may be more important to stand up for those voices that you really don't agree with, but people are trying to shut down. First Amendment not to be trifled with. And yet it seems to happen somewhere in the country every day now. Every day. This week in Louisiana, a female middle school English teacher was arrested for speaking at her school board meeting. Her crime? Apparently asking why the school district's superintendent was getting a $30,000 raise when teachers and other support staff haven't received a raise in over 10 years. I don't know. That seems like a pretty fair question. She pointed out that the district improved test scores, the state's rankings due to the efforts of the teachers are rising, and yet they continue to deal with much larger class sizes and no more money for 10 years. The teacher, Daisha Hargrave, was not being disruptive. She stood to speak with permission from the meeting chairman after he had opened the floor for audience comments, but the school board didn't like what she was questioning. Okay. Did they feel unsafe? One board member pounded his gavel and told her, stop right now. It's not germane to what's on the agenda. She was then approached by a police officer who told her she had to leave. She walked herself out of the room, but the officer followed her. In the hallway, people attending the meeting could hear a commotion as she was suddenly handcuffed on the floor, led out of the building, put into a patrol car, and taken to jail. You know, oh my gosh. This is a public meeting. The floor was open for public comment. Hargrave is a citizen exercising her right to speak and, dare I quote the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights, petition her government. What happened to her? She was silenced and carted off to jail. Fortunately, a local TV station was covering the school board meeting and got it all on camera, and the footage has gone viral. After reviewing the footage, the local city prosecutor decided, oh, you know what? We're not gonna press charges. Oh, well, I think Hargrave should. This is unconstitutional. This is the definition of why the First Amendment is in there. By the way, the school board approved the superintendent's raise at that meeting. The teachers are going to wait for theirs. Meanwhile, at least they have an object lesson about the importance of the First Amendment to take back to their students. And this is one time that I hope those teachers are teaching that lesson. If this isn't what the First Amendment is about, I don't know what the First Amendment is for. Here's a private citizen standing up and questioning her government. And she has every right to do that. And they haul her away in handcuffs?
Well, we know what the First Amendment is for. It's for protecting hardcore pornography. That is right. What it was designed to do. Yeah. And now it does.
Yeah.
It does that really well.
Yeah.
It does that really well. Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is a fundamental thing, right? You're supposed to be able to go to the government and say, this is my problem. That's the exact type of thing that was not available to our founders overseas.
That's exactly what King George did. This is why we broke away. Yeah. You couldn't question. And if you questioned, you were an enemy and they threw you in jail. It is really phenomenal to me how out of control our government is, and local government too. We have taught them all the wrong lessons, that they are in charge of us. You should never be afraid of the school board. The school board should fear you.
Yeah, in strange ways, the local government at times can be worse than the federal government. They don't have the power, but they don't have the eyeballs on them either. And a lot of times when they start doing something shady or wrong, or someone has an agenda or some personal vendetta against an individual citizen, really crazy stuff can happen.
I can't think of anything like that, like some guy trying to build a fence in his own yard and the town allowing everybody else in town to do it, but not him.
Yeah, but you're awful, and I support them in that one.
Okay.
But no, that's true. And I mean, we've seen this with people losing their children to state agencies for very little or no reason. People who have had their money taken away at a traffic stop and are never able to reclaim it. In New Orleans, people getting their guns taken away, their Second Amendment right stripped right out and from under them, and never being able to reclaim their property. Not that it should have ever been taken in the first place. This happens all over America. We talked about it with elderly people. This is a few weeks before we went on vacation. Elderly people in homes that have their children visiting them every day or every a couple days.
And not in homes like, oh, mom's in the home.
Right. Just in
her home.
Like a retirement community or whatever, assisted living. And people come in and say, your kids aren't really taken care of. We're going to move you to another home and take all your belongings to pay for it. And it takes months or years until they get this reversed, if it ever gets done.
And when you complain, the judge and the caretaker, the guardian now of your parents, who are getting rich off of your parents, they're bleeding them dry.
Yeah.
And then changing their prescriptions. They have a right. They actually had a right to go in and talk to the doctors and change their prescriptions. They were killing them. This was not an isolated incident. And when you complain, that guardian says, you have small children at home. Maybe we should look into you. I mean, it's crazy.